Sie das deutschsprachige Programm von Radio China International zu Ende. Sie können unser Programm von mehr bis 20 Uhr mit europäischer Sommerzeit auf die Frequenzen 7380 kHz und auf 1725 kHz. Von 20 bis 22 Uhr mit europäischer Sommerzeit auf die Frequenzen 7395, 11650 und 11775 kHz sowie von 7 bis 9 Uhr mit europäischer Sommerzeit auf den Frequenzen 17.615 und 17.720 Kilohertz hören. Wenn Sie Fragen oder Anregungen haben, schreiben Sie uns an folgende Adressen: per E-Mail an gr@cri.com.cn oder criger@qq.com. Hörer, die uns faxen wollen, wählen bitte nur 086 für China, 10 für Beijing und die Durchwahl 68 89 20 53. Unsere Anschrift in Deutschland: Gürtelstraße 32b 10247 Berlin. Auf Wiederhören.
和谐共生，才能让所有的生命都能安然栖息呀。
所以我们是和谐共生，万物一家。
末嘅团结，和改革人年年追求。谈得理解年三星八年，中央密码规矩龙天列空嘅和改天南期。
상업사회 야람사발의 니지치 지번체 지적지기 멍시리 체기 말라 주교수当天 radio 空别节三星电片멍시电路当中国的协商会议第14届全国委员会常务和平稳定。有记者就
interests. Trump says military action against Iran could take up to 4 weeks. As tensions remain high, Iran
共同利益，双方分次扩张，立即停止军事行动，避免紧张事态进一步升级。
50 others in southern Lebanon, including suburbs of Beirut. The Israeli military says it's launched a new wave of strikes on Hezbollah's weapons storage facilities and other infrastructure targets in Lebanon. Israel began striking Beirut and other areas in Lebanon overnight after Hezbollah fired missiles and drones towards Israel in retaliation for the killing of Iran's supreme leader. Britain, France, and Germany have said they're ready to take necessary and proportionate defensive action against Iran. That's according to a joint statement released on Sunday. They agreed to work with the U.S. and allies to destroy Iran's missile and drone capabilities at their source. Also on Sunday, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said Britain's accepted the U.S. request to use British bases for this purpose. The Prime Minister also added that Britain was not involved in the initial strikes on Iran and will not join offensive action. Violent clashes have erupted in Pakistan as pro-Iran demonstrators confronted security forces in Karachi and in northern regions. More than 20 people died and over 120 others suffered injuries as protesters attempted to storm the U.S. consulate. The unrest followed U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran beginning Saturday morning. OPEC Plus has decided to ramp up oil output by 206,000 barrels per day in April. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies made the announcement after member countries reviewed global market conditions and outlook. And it came as U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran raised concerns about supply disruptions in the Middle East. Market analysis expects oil prices to soar on Monday. The National People's Congress will address the media on Wednesday, one day ahead of its annual session. The spokesperson for the fourth session of the 14th NPC will take questions on the agenda and the work of the People's Congresses. Hong Kong's new budget has set AI Plus and Finance Plus as key pillars of the economy. Financial Secretary Paul Chan says the move aims to lift Hong Kong's economic development to a higher level with accelerated economic transformation. He says as AI integrates with industrial upgrading and deepens convergence with the financial sector, demand for a host of new professional services will emerge and at a faster pace. He says Hong Kong needs more enterprises adept at using AI, as well as financial and professional services personnel with a good grasp of AI and innovative technologies. China's box office revenues exceeded 10 billion yuan, over 1.4 billion US dollars so far this year. A major online ticketing platform shows the box office hit the milestone Sunday evening. The country sold more than 220 million tickets across over 26 million screenings. The Chinese New Year holiday drove most of the revenue, bringing in more than 5.7 billion yuan, and more young people went to the movies. Viewers under 25 made up over 27% of all moviegoers. Australian authorities in the southeast have issued emergency warnings for flash flooding. The Weather Bureau warned of heavy rains across Victoria and New South Wales on Monday. Some areas could see up to 100 millimeters of rain in only 6 hours. The warning zone stretches over 650 kilometers. And that's the news. I'm Shane Bigham.
Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is
Round Table.
The holiday is over and the strategy has begun. Chinese provinces just revealed their game plans for the next half decade, and they are going all in on tech manufacturing and risk control. We'll discuss the roadmap for China's future. After that, for today's soapbox, a bit of controversy. A large number of animals from a park in Harbin are now on a rotating fasting schedule. After being overfed by tourists during the holiday rush, the move, described as a scientific health measure, raises bigger questions about wildlife tourism, animal welfare, and what happens when holiday crowds meet endangered predators. We're live from our studios in Beijing. This is Roundtable. I'm Steve. Hello there. Thanks very much for being with us today. And for the show, I'm with Yushun and Feifei. Up first. In China, the first meeting after Spring Festival isn't just symbolic, it's directional. On the first working day of the Year of the Horse, many Chinese provinces convened high-profile first meetings, laying out their priorities for the year and, more importantly, for the next 5. Some are doubling down on tech innovation, others are racing to strengthen manufacturing, attract private capital, or tighten risk control. So what signals are these provinces really sending, and what do these strategic choices reveal about the next chapter of China's economic transformation? Feifei and Yushun, good afternoon to you both. Before we get into specific details, I guess we should start with what these first meetings are and why they're such a big deal.
As you mentioned, that this first meeting of the spring is the high-level conference that usually each province holds on the very first working day after the Spring Festival holiday. And it's not just a routine meeting, because it's a big agenda-setting moment, and this year specifically is even, I think, more important because we just finished that previous 5-year plan, and then a lot of these provinces are starting the new plan, which means that we are starting a new 5-year plan for the future, like everything, agriculture, infrastructure, and everything. These gatherings carry strong strategic weight, signaling that the New Year's work has officially begun, and also setting the tone of the months ahead. It's just like both a symbolic kickoff and a practical roadmap for these areas, and provincial leaders use the occasion to lay out the year's key priorities, align officials around major goals, and send a clear message about where development is headed. And it's part ceremony, part a strategy session, and very much a statement of intent for the year to come.
Yeah, so especially this is something that they do on a yearly basis, but this one's even bigger because it's the new 5-year plan as well. All right, so let's take a look at some specific provinces then. We'll bounce around the country a little bit, I guess, from province to province to find out what is going on with their plans.
Yeah, so first of all, for example, very high-profile, one of the very high-profile provinces in China is Guangdong in the southern part of the country, which is known for its industrial base, its manufacturing, its services, and a lot of things. It's actually one of the richest provinces in the country.
Those are, what are the biggest cities in Guangdong then?
I think the most famous one would be Shenzhen.
And Guangzhou.
And Guangzhou as well. So when it comes to numbers, for example, the GDP of the province of Guangdong is $2.1 trillion, which is even bigger than the whole country of Spain.
Wow.
Based on 2025 figure from an International Monetary Fund.
Wow.
So it's a very rich and big province economic-wise. But when it comes to their plan for this particular year and also over the next 5 years, Guangdong has its own challenges. For example, it's very high quality when it comes to manufacturing. A lot of the things from as little as a lighter to as big as robots can be manufactured in that province. And at the same time, they also have a very robust service industry. So when it comes to finance, when it comes to other things, tourism, the service sector actually makes up more than half of the province's economy. So now the province is looking to make a coordinated development of both manufacturing and services so that it can can stay and climb up on the global value chain.
So synergy is the key word for Guangdong's province then.
Yeah, exactly. So in its 2026 government work report, which is the document that lays out the priorities, Guangdong made this direction, the synergy between manufacturing and services, very crystal clear. They want to upgrade the service sector. That will help drive and support the transformation of the entire industrial system. So in other words, it means better logistics, better financial services, better design, better digital services, and research and development aren't just add-ons. They are the engines that can power manufacturing into a more higher and higher value territory. And so that's why they're working because when it comes to manufacturing, for example, some of the traditional manufacturing can only create very limited added value. And then part of the service sector, especially when it comes to the financial sector, it can become very disconnected
from the real economy.
From the real economy. And that can lead to problems, for example, what economists call the bubble disease. That means when service sectors grows, but overall productivity growth slows, and that means that only drives up prices, but not reflected on the whole of the economy. And so this is a concept that was introduced by economists